All right, wide receivers. Is this class better than or worse than or is same as the run? It's got to be worse than the running backs, right?
Worse, yeah, for sure. Especially because like the names you're going to say at the top, we mostly think, I'm going to assume, are going to stay where they are.
Right. More likely to get franchised. Evans, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman. Not as much depth. But you could argue they're obviously in their prime. The other guys are a little older. That running back. Not Evans.
Two
Higgins,
of them are in their prime.
Higgins and Pittman. But
there
Evans,
are two good wide receivers in their prime, and they're both going to get franchise tagged.
Evans has an endless prime, it seems. All right. So what do you guys think about Evans, Higgins, and Pittman? Do you want to see them? Let's take the Chiefs off the table. Like the Chiefs would be great. If there's not a Chiefs sign, if the Chiefs don't get one of these three guys, do you want to see Evans, Higgins, and Pittman stay put or go somewhere else that's not the Chiefs?
It's so case by case because where are they going? Like,
you can pick any place other than the Chiefs.
Oh, okay, I got you. So I could put T. Higgins on the Chargers?
Yes.
I can put Michael Pittman in Buffalo.
Yes. With Diggs, though. Is that better for Higgins to go up to the Chargers than the Bengals?
Who are they
I
cutting?
think you'd see more targets. And I think is Keenan Allen still there?
Yeah, Keenan is. Let's say they'll cut Mike Williams.
I want to see T. Higgins be an alpha wide receiver.
I remember talking
no question.
Late in the season and going, I feel this way now. I don't know if Higgins is an alpha wide receiver.
Right.
I think he might be, but I also
like him have the chance.
I get some Kenny Golladay vibes. Some. I'm just gonna say.
I mean, well, don't go to the Giants.
That would be the end. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about Higgins. Like if he becomes an alpha, he has been very good without Jamar Chase in limited sample size.
Oh, I'll take Higgins to the Cardinals.
With Marvin Harrison?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that I'd like to see what that looks like. I'd be excited about Higgins there.
I mean, we have a small sample size of Higgins as an alpha. It's pre-ACL injury for Burrow, their rookie year together.
Yeah, it was good.
We should just include Marquise Brown, right, in this discussion?
He's not on this tier, but yeah, we should.
Do you think he's in the tier with Evans, Higgins, and Pittman?
He's just kind of in a tier by himself, right behind him.
What about Ridley?
They're in the same tier.
Old Marquise Brown?
You seem to
27. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're calling Ridley old Marquise Brown. Yeah. I get it.
So Pittman, is Pittman, do you think Pittman is an alpha or is he just, because Pittman is not really a guy who has done a lot with his catches. He doesn't make big plays. He doesn't do a ton after the catch. I don't know if it's his fault. He's had a pretty low ADOT most of his career.
I mean, I would disagree. I think he has. It's not like it's consistent, but we have seen him make big plays after the catch. He literally caught a screen pass and scored like a 40-yard touchdown, something like that, in the first game of the season.
Right, Dave. But I will give you. I mean, his explosive catch rate.
No, I get what you're saying.
Low every year. It's lower. It's average.
I think when he's schemed up properly, he can be plenty explosive. We could say that about a lot of wide receivers. Is he naturally a burner? No, he's much more of a physical type of receiver who needs to get a lot of targets and accurate ones at that. In a perfect world, he would be in the same boat as Higgins. I'd love to see him be a perimeter receiver, maybe even in an offense where there is another type of receiver that can scoot downfield a little bit more, but at least it's like a passing offense, something like that. Whereas Indianapolis, I still think they're going to lean run when Richardson comes back. I don't think that that's saying anything crazy. And so I am a little worried about Pittman on a 1-year deal in Indy, catching passes from a quarterback with less than 4 games worth of experience in the NFL.
That being said, though, I don't know if there's a situation where he's going to a better scenario. I mean, as the lead guy in this offense, in a situation where he hasn't played with like a young quarterback, and this is his first opportunity to do so, and hopefully Richardson stays healthy. I mean, you think about it, he had Rivers at the end of his career, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and then Gardner Minshew. I mean, those have been his 4 quarterbacks.
What about Sam Ehlinger?
Sure, throw Sam Ehlinger in there.
Kobe Brissett for a while, maybe.
4 different quarterbacks for him, in 4 seasons for Pittman.
Well, I mean, 4 for the majority, but it's been like 8,
Yeah.
with all the guys that have been thrown in the mix. So I like him there the best. Like him staying there. I like him staying in Indy better than T. Higgins staying in Cincy.
Oh, wow. So you're saying that if they stay put, you're going to rank Pittman ahead of Higgins?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, like, is he an alpha? Was Deontay Johnson an alpha when he was earning 10 targets a game?
No.
He's an alpha target earner, but not like an
He's
alpha
on
fantasy
his team.
receiver. Yeah.
He's an alpha on his team. But, I mean, how many – it's like the same with the quarterbacks. Like, how many alphas are there?
Right.
There's 10, 12.
Let me just bring up, this is an obvious concern for Pittman, is Anthony Richardson's going to throw. I mean, it wouldn't be a shock if he threw the second fewest, third fewest attempt. Like, I think Baltimore would probably be the lowest, but
the Colts with Richardson is very the way I would feel about it. DJ Moore with Justin Fields last year, like that type of player.
He had 8 targets a game in the 2 full games Richardson played in.
Yeah, I think the thing, and we talked about this early in the season, if you remember. The thing that surprised me about Richardson in his first action, and people said this was true in college as well, he's not as much as most mobile quarterbacks just taking it down and running right away, or he doesn't take sacks very much. Like, he got the ball out. So yeah, they're going to run more if he's quarterback, but he's not going to have the same scramble rate, I don't think, as most quarterbacks with his athleticism.
Agreed.
And if you are just looking at targets, to be fair, those were games without Jonathan Taylor, because Richardson and Taylor did not play together.
It's true, but they still had a semblance of a run game with Moss when he came back in week 2.
But
I don't know
week 1 they didn't. So look, you can't make anything of it. Pittman had 11.
It's hard to say that there's anything concrete there.
And 5 in week 4, so you can't make anything of it. But I would much rather him have Gardner Minshew than Anthony Richardson. Wouldn't you?
He had 2 more targets per game with Minshew.
Just they're going to throw a lot more, and Richardson is going to run for touchdowns, and Minshew really isn't.
I don't think they're going to throw a lot more. They didn't throw a lot more when Taylor was back.
Well, all right. I would rather have him with a pocket passer.
Not me.
Okay.
I think there's more upside with Richardson. There's a higher floor with Minshew.
But the thing is, you say DJ Moore. So far in his career, Pittman has not shown that he's anything.
No. I don't mean in terms of how they get it done. I'm targets. Just in terms of Fields leaning on Moore, Richardson will lean on Pittman.
Right. All right. Well, for sure. I mean, whoever the quarterback is going to lean on Pittman. All right. Any other wide receivers that you think a change of scenery could really boost them? So we're talking Calvin Ridley, Marquise Brown, Gabe Davis. Kendrick
for sure
had a good little stretch there. They might have discovered something with him.
Brown and Davis.
Brown and Davis, not Ridley. Sounds like you're done with Ridley, Heath.
No, I think he's a borderline number 2 wide receiver. Probably in Jacksonville, probably somewhere else.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of Jacksonville, like you could see Higgins in Jacksonville making an impact.
Do you think Gabe Davis can really do better?
No.
What make the case for Davis doing better?
He replaces MVS in Kansas City and catches the ball.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that teams would use him differently?
A little bit. We saw there was 1 or 2 games where the Bills used Gabe Davis in a little different way, and he did okay.
Yeah.
What was it? A lower A dot, right?
Yeah.
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 Works for me.
If you're signing him, though, like NFL-wise, you're signing him to be a deep threat.
The thing that bothered me was his social media post with all of his Azer stats were really well done, but highlighting the 15% target share. Like, it seems like you want to talk about a guy, it's not Kenny Golladay because he hasn't been as good as Kenny Golladay was in Detroit, but it seems like he wants to go somewhere where they're going to tell him they're going to throw it to him a lot more.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. They might tell him. I don't know if they'll follow through on it.
Well, Adam, how much did he pay you to do that?
Yeah, so Gabe Davis put up a post on Twitter, on X, that compared him, in terms of rates to the best wide receivers in football, basically. And he's, on a per target, per catch basis, he's good.
To his credit, he's also an exceptionally good blocker, and he plays almost 100% of the snaps, almost 100% of the games, even when he had a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Like, he's a really good football player.
It's almost like though, like the social media post is like, oh, I guess NFL GMs must like, it's like LinkedIn, like that's how you got to get hired.
Yeah.
Like they know
Yeah.
what you can do.
Yeah. All right. Potential cap casualties: Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, MVS, Tyler Lockett, and then maybe Diggs. This seems less likely, according to Dave. Diggs, Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper. But Mike Williams, Hopkins, Sutton, Cooks, Deontay, MVS, Tyler Lockett. And maybe the Broncos, Dave, maybe they make it. We hear so much about the Broncos maybe trading receivers. It hasn't happened. Do they have a different look in 2024?
I think they will. I think it'll be across the board. They'll have a new quarterback. They'll have at least one new wide receiver. There's already been talk that they are planning on moving on from one of Sutton and Judy. It's just a matter of which one is what they'll get more for or save salary cap space for. Judy, of course, is still on his rookie deal. I think he's entering a contract year. And so they might keep him because they don't lose any money with him. With Sutton, they can save almost $10 million if they cut him before June 1st and $13.5 million if they cut him after June 1st. He's got $2 million guaranteed on March 21st. So we might know in less than a month Cortland Sutton's future.
I would really, I don't take this personally, Tyler Lockett, but I would really like to see Tyler Lockett be on another team because, I mean, gosh, just we need to unlock Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jackson Smith and Jigba had only 3 games. He had 3 games where he had 61 to 63 yards. Never more than 63 yards. But those 3 games were his 3 highest rates of being lined up outside. So he shouldn't be confined to the slot. He was in the slot 2/3 of the time. Whenever he's been outside, he's been better. So remember the one game, his best game of the year was without DK Metcalf, and he played outside most of that game. And it's just, forget about that. I mean, it's just so obvious, right? I mean, you've got three pieces, make it 2 now in the pie. And
well, especially when you're talking about how much more you want to run.
Yeah.
It is a different coordinator, so they may do some different things.
He seems like a good restructure candidate too. Like his cap number's out of control. It's almost $27 million for this year. I bet he takes a haircut and stays.
He should go home.
He should go home to where?
He went to K-State.
Oh, that'd be fun. That's an upgrade over MVS, is it not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Until the
for
Super
at least a year anyway.
If Hopkins gets cut, do you put him in the Evans, Higgins, Pittman tier, the Ridley, Marquise Brown tier, the Gabe Davis tier? Where do you put Hopkins?
I'd put him in between the first 2 tiers.
Ridley,
I still
Brown
think he
tier.
can play.